Well, guys, I got busy in the shop, short-handed for 1 week because Bruce was out. I was short-handed the next week because Derek was out. I didn't have much time to film on this white pickup. And pressure kicked on right on cue. I have actually fixed the air leaks. That's a bonus. We'll probably just not have that in the video and I'll start over. And this is why I don't make any money making videos. So there's a lot of different power steering setups out there. This old truck actually has a van style. Similar to this guy, you can see the fitting is a male type AN. My line in the vehicle, I decided to use the correct line for the vehicle, which is a 68 to 72 power steering pressure hose. Makes it easier to fix down the line. I did have to adjust it, bend it a little bit, but it's not too bad since this isn't a correct pump setup for the car or pump bracketry. But we overcame that. So then the next thing to overcome was making the line fit the pump. Now Borgeson makes these little adapters that adapt the metric fittings to the standard 45-degree flare fittings. But the one I got ended up breaking as soon as I tightened it down, and I wasn't getting all McGilly-Gorilla with it. I was just using a stubby wrench, and I tightened down the flare nut. This guy came off. I was like, oh, crud. So I had to pull the pump back out so I could extract this guy out of the back. Luckily for me, Bruce has a hoard of some of this stuff sitting at his house. And he ran home and he has the correct one that I'm looking for, which is just a 45-degree flare. And one of the nice things about these old Saginaw pumps is that these are all the same. It's just the insides that are the same, so you can change these out for different applications. This is the pressure regulator. It determines how much flow goes out of the pump. The pumps are all the same inside, well, relatively. Put that guy in there, you tighten him down, and then we can put this guy back in the car. Then we'll pretty much be done with this guy. I overcame quite a few little things with it, but fortunately I didn't have time to film all those items. So maybe I'll share some of what I do in some of the next ones, because time is money. I didn't have any time the last couple of weeks, but we still got a lot of stuff done, put out some content for you. Hope you guys enjoy the stuff that we do put out. Let me get this thing back in this truck so I can get it out of here. I always did like this body style truck. Like one of the first trucks I rebuilt for a friend of mine was one of these 70, this was a 70 I think, or a 69. It turned out pretty good, he's still driving it around. Get your hole. I can't tell you how many times somebody cross-threads one of these line nut fittings, or puts Teflon tape on the threads, which is another one. Why you would do that? If it's leaking, there's either dirt on the 45-degree flare, or the 45-degree flare is cracked or distorted. You can't fix that with Teflon tape. Whoa! What was that? Why do I have oh. It just went pop. It sounds like I need to unplug that. Oh, yep. Oh, she's smoking. That's not good. I guess that's the end of that light. that stinks. I've had that thing for like 4 years. Crud. Like losing an old friend. Well, let's get back on track. Let's tighten this guy down. And let's tighten our line fitting down without breaking our line fitting receptacle like I did the last time. Line fitting. Did I lose my clip? I bet I did. Oh, there it is. Turn my clip. Lost my nut again. Man, it's a rough morning. Broke my light, lost my nut. You didn't run off too far from me. Alright, luckily for me, this is an old school pump. It is a spline drive, so I don't have to press the pump pulley on and off. I've got all my leaks resolved. looks a heck of a lot better. So my spark plugs were completely fouled out on this thing before, so I decided to take a look at a plug and see what they look like. The carbon is definitely leaving. It is not getting carbon fouled like it was previously, so I'm happy with that. Our power steering pump shaft seal is sealing up nicely. Instead of replacing the entire power steering pump, I pulled the pump and put a power steering pump shaft seal on it. You know, $20 part instead of a $300 part or whatever these things are nowadays. At any rate, fixed all my power steering links, tighter ratio steering gear, new rag link, new power steering pump seal, put everything back together, pulled the plugs and cleaned them because they were fouled. The customer brought me had a pump on the car and another pump. And the original pump was not doing what it needed to do, and so I put the pump on that he brought me, and I got it to run and drive and do stuff, and then I was driving it down the road and it fell on his face, and I'm like, oh, well that's great. So I drained the carburetor bowls and found water in them. So I got it back, resolved that problem, drained the fuel tank, put new fuel in it. And this is a bottom feed sump, and there's like about a half an inch at the bottom that doesn't come out, so I drove it again and it left me stranded again because the water at the very bottom of the tank sloshed around. But at least I got all the water out. I probably got a cup of water out of it when I drained the tank, so quite a bit of water in this thing. And this has a fuel cell under the bed that has a top fill with a rubber seal, so clearly the rubber seal isn't sealing. So we're going to talk to these guys about a different fuel system, fuel tank. The rest of the fuel system's a-okay. New line from the back all the way up, one-piece line to a rubber hose into the pump, from the pump up a steel line into a filter, from the filter into the carburetor. Everything works pretty good. I drove it quite a bit. Everything feels good. Call the customer up, tell them to come get this thing, and they can move on with it. Now that it runs and drives, they can actually enjoy it while they're doing whatever they do with it. So that's about all for today. At least on this one. I have a crap load of other vehicles to work on, and I need to get them done, so less talky, more worky. You guys have a safe day out there, and we will see you on the next one.